Welcome to the Oyasound Podcast with your host, moi, Sabine Blaizin. And I am really, really excited to introduce you all to our special guest, Monica Ortiz Rossi, and tell the people who you are.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here. The space is beautiful. Your entire energy is phenomenal.
Thank
you. I'm really grateful. And Jacob, thank you too.
Yes. We love Jacob.
And everyone watching, hi, my name is Monica Ortiz Rossi. I co-founded Sanctuario back in 2021. I don't know if you know Alegba.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Alegba.
Orisha, the Crossroads. Yeah. All the things.
So this is Alegba from Alegba and Friends.
Oh, I thought you meant the deity. I was like, let's go there.
Yeah. we started early. We will get there too.
That's how you open things with Alegba.
Yes, opening of the roads.
Yeah.
So actually, yes. So we were outside in the forest of Prospect Park.
Okay.
And he invited me to come sing.
Oh, beautiful.
A few times.
Mm-hmm.
And then this was during like lockdown where we didn't have a place to be really other than like in our homes. And he created this space every day of music, invited me out to play.
Alegba and Friends.
Alegba and Friends.
Yes.
And
I've seen that.
After a few weeks, people were like, when's your band playing? So I created Sanctuario.
Nice.
Which is a way to really make sure there's like a receptacle for the Afro-Dominicanness.
Yes.
I grew up in Brooklyn.
Yes.
Shout out to Brooklyn. My grandma was like a dancer of palo. My grandfather used to play drums, but they never really told me until way later.
Wow.
So this was a way for me to like unearth all of that.
Yes.
And all the healing that comes with the music.
Of course. Yep.
And it really binds it with that health background that I already had, the dance background, and really seeing it kind of like of a bunch of different avenues of expression. So that's the Sanctuario part, but
which means sanctuary in Spanish.
It does, and I spelled it with a Spanglish. So it's like sanctuary and then I-O.
Got it. Yep.
But apparently it also means altar in La 21 Divisiones, which is like the I guess the voodoo version in the Dominican Republic.
Yes.
Yeah. But I learned that afterwards.
But you see how your ancestors have guided you towards the name, towards building your band and your music. So that's incredible. Thank you for sharing that. And I didn't know that in terms of like the history of your band, so that makes it even more rich. And I definitely experienced that when you play, when you dance, and you have various guest artists, and I've had the privilege of DJing for you and opening up, so I appreciate that. So we are so excited at Oyasound, but particularly between myself and Okai Music. Shout out to Okai, my co-producer, and we've worked on a previous album called Tonight We Fly, Assoya Na Volé, a tribute to Haitian roots and house music. We're doing a part 2, and we have a long list of artists that we want to incorporate in this new album, but also just artists we want to collaborate with regardless, whether it's a single or part of the album. And your name has come up obviously many times, so I'm glad that you and Okai have gotten together and started building this track and then brought me along. So this interview is to talk about the track, but also the inspiration behind the track and just all the possibilities. So it's called MO. And then listening to it and also knowing the meaning of the lyrics, it feels both intimate and declarative, right? Can you share the story behind the title and what the song reveals about your personal modus operandi, the MO, in love, artistry, and life, and all the messages that come from the song?
Wow, that's an incredible question. And it is honestly such an honor to be able to be considered for this new album with Oyasound, because Tonight We Fly is incredible.
Thank you.
I love so many artists on the previous album, and the music is just inspiring to get us to move.
Yes.
So, but also to move to like a liberation soundtrack. So it feels really in line with what I try to create. If we're talking about this song specifically, we got to make together, and it's been fun.
Yeah.
Like
a lot of, especially working with Okai and various artists like yourself that is grounded and rooted in their traditions and their identity. It literally becomes a jam session. And then it's also like a co-production, even though we will lay the foundation or talk through arrangement, but we really center the artist to make sure that your voice and your message and everything that you want colored in the track comes out.
Yeah. So MO, modus operandi, like I liked the sounds of like, and that kind of like started it. However, the intention behind it, as time goes on, you start realizing maybe I could be a little bit stronger in the way I present myself. Maybe what I have to say has value. Maybe the way somebody else acts dictates who they are, and it doesn't say much about me. So I've had to like understand that we can't really alter somebody else's way of being. Not to say you shouldn't say anything.
Right.
Like you should always speak up. And when I say somebody's way of being, this could be at the interpersonal level, another person, family member, loved one, friend. But we're also talking about like the state level, the global level. Yeah. Just because
and you're right.
something is operating the way it's operating, we shouldn't just allow it to be. And so what is the way we're going to show up?
That's right.
What is it that we're going to say? So it's very simple in a sense. It's like I came on earth to love is one of the things I say in the song.
Yes.
And just affirming that, declaring it, but also believing it. So I'm at a point in my life that I can now say these things and say, hey, I am part of this universe. I am part of this celestial piece. We are, we're spinning around just like the stars. And so if we want to take it to an even broader level from the interpersonal to the state and now the celestial. So that like just feeling that we're a part of this and really loving that we can stand in our expression, whatever way it is. So that's my
Made
MO.
from love, embodying love, connected to all elements of nature. We all have rights that we have to protect, and also to not silence ourselves, but through the music and through these traditions, the most beautiful expression comes out because it's innate to our humanity. So I love that. So so declaring your MO and how you walk through the world, right? So the lyrics, push back on ego, hierarchy, shallow validation, asking instead for tenderness, presence, and mutual recognition, all the things that you're talking about. How does the song reflect your values? And we go just a little bit deeper around love, power, emotional liberation. And you just mentioned liberation earlier, specifically as a woman rooted in Afro-Caribbean culture or your Dominican background.
Yeah, so that there's a lot there. Even before I was a woman, I was a kid. And I don't know.
That's real.
I was a little girl. Yeah. And I don't know what your experience was, but growing up, like, with Dominican parents, island parents, the idea that a child should speak up was not a thing. There was a saying, there is a saying, los muchachos hablan cuando las gallinas mean. Kids speak when chickens pee.
Wow.
Chickens don't pee.
Well, that's clear. I thought you were going to say that children don't speak until
spoken to. That's another one.
Right.
But we have
but
these
the chicken one? That is Caribbean.
That's so Caribbean. There's always like 40 chickens in a Guinea and 17 pigs in my grandma's house, which is a blessing. It's a blessing, but it is that thing of like you don't speak.
Right.
Period. And so, finding your voice as a little Caribbean child growing into an adult is one thing. Being a woman.
Coupled with that, yes.
So, people honestly not believing that ideas came from me. like having those moments, or people not believing that the experiences I had were true.
Right.
And then I think plus Blackness, plus the Latina-ness, you know, and I think there's so many ways we're invalidated.
Voicing that? Ooh, that's another level.
So many ways we're invalidated,
yeah,
or taught to not truly trust ourselves.
Right.
In little ways, and you kind of don't even notice it until much later.
Yeah.
And so then I think a part of like the expression, this is voice, right? This is words, but also eventually it's movement, like getting people to move through these experiences, because holding your voice, you know,
you become stagnant.
And something gets blocked up here. You know, holding even like your anger, you know, things get blocked in places. And I think movement.
Yes.
And moving to the mantras of, you know, something that's inspiring and enlightening and empowering for ourselves.
That's right.
That's what I think this it's not just my modus operandi, it's everyone's.
And the right to have. Ooh,
yeah.
I love it. And if you all have not checked out Sanctuario or Monica, the movement, beautiful, and it's organic, it's innate, but it's rooted in our African diasporic traditions, and that brings the energy to the full performance. You and your backup singers, engaging the crowd to move and dance. So it's that word sound power, along with that movement. So I see that clearly in your work, which is beautiful.
Beautiful. I'm really happy you can experience. You're also a dancer.
Yeah.
And so I feel like
club kid.
Yeah. And you really understand that value.
Yes.
You know, sometimes I feel like in America specifically, there's this idea that in order to dance, something has to come before it. Either training, maybe a couple beers.
Right.
You know, before you can actually release.
To be that
open.
Yes.
Yeah. So I feel like when music can get you to a place of freedom in your body, you know, the mind is part of our body. So that liberation will shortly follow.
And it's a direct connection with spirit.
Yes.
Right? And your connection to earth. And you were talking about that in terms of like the meaning of the song, that you came to earth to love.
Yes.
Right? So that's that expression through movement and through voice. It makes me think of, you know, just like the club scene that I'm very familiar with as a DJ, but that point where either as I'm DJing, I sort of lose myself and the music just takes you on a journey, and there's a moment where the movement of the crowd and the movement of the music that I'm playing, there's like the synergy and alignment, but it's also we're moving together and just being free in the moment and that spiritual connection. And then also as a dancer, you know, at various events, like when spirit takes over, that's it. Especially with the sound of the drums. And that's a ancestral healing and connection. So I really appreciate you mentioning movement, because it's very important.
Yeah, those drums are vital. And I feel like in MO, you know, we have, you know, Okai's playing everything from like an ancient, you know, skin to like, you know, the drum technology to a drum pad. So it's like that drum across centuries, like in one place, that's so layered and dynamic.
And it shows all the different parts of us and how we evolve, and we could still carry that within us, right? With whatever tools that we have. But the fact that we did go back to the drum, the original drum, and then also you singing it in Spanish or just with your own voice, because you're also multilingual. There, I feel like there's a connection and magic there too. So Sanctuario's music is deeply connected to healing, movement, and collective release. So how does MO fit into that vision, and what kind of emotional bodily experience do you hope listeners have when they hear it? And we were just speaking to that, but specifically with this song, because we're also building out like visuals and, you know, going to test it out on the dance floor. What are some things that you anticipate from your listeners?
You know, I guess we talked a little bit about kind of like invalidating forces outside of you, we also sometimes have those forces within us. Those voices that are like, are you sure you should be doing that?
Self-sabotaging.
Oh,
yes.
wow. Is that what you meant to say? Because I don't know if you should be the one saying that. Like all these voices within us. So with MO, it's like really affirming who you are. And I'm hoping like I could see somebody, on a dance floor saying, the words,
yes.
Tell me I'm the queen. Tell me I'm loved, and knowing that you deserve all of this.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be somebody else telling you. You could tell it to yourself.
That's right.
Like that is so powerful. Like if you can't feel the feeling for yourself, it's very difficult to find it outside. But really having people come into their own skin, into their own body.
And I could see that. I could see people singing it.
Yeah.
Would you mind saying it in Spanish? Because you just explained it in English. Would you mind saying it in Spanish? Just that little piece,
that little
like
piece,
the chorus.
Yes. Yeah. Let's say, a mí si no, dame lo bueno, dime mi reina, dime te quiero. So like, yeah,
and
tell
then
me
it's
that.
repetitive in the track. And wait till y'all hear the beat. Okay.
It's a lie. It's so good.
Okay.
It's so good.
And I was singing it, and I don't know a lick of Spanish. But my MO was correct, okay? I was like, Monica, take us there. I love it. I
know,
love it.
and each verse closes with "sí."
Yes.
An
as
affirmation. Yes. That's exactly why. Yes.
I love it. So your work bridges music, dance, and public health, right? And you've spoken about creating spaces for joy during times of crisis like COVID. How does MO continue that legacy of care, resistance, and communal healing? And I guess this would be more connected to your public health work and seeing how those elements tie in.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the music I've created up until now is very lyrics heavy. This one has a very, front-facing lyrics, but it's also rhythmically, it's like hypnotic.
Yes, it is.
So it has, and I think, any chance I could get to get the multicultural fabric of our universe together, and I think this is where we can bridge the gap of like different folks from different areas. And I think the rhythms is what binds us.
Yes.
I'm hoping I can perform this with you all in Haiti.
Woo, let's put it out there.
In DR.
Yes.
You
hear that? Performing it in Haiti. Because that would be very, very powerful.
So
very
this
powerful.
is, so Oyasound.
And bridging that gap between Dominican Republic and Haiti. Yes.
Very important to me. It's very important to me. Like the physical gap where it's like less violent. Like our Dominican minds have been programmed, since Trujillo, probably before, because we've believed so much in whiteness.
Yes.
The blanqueamiento was powerful. Telling folks to marry somebody lighter so you could better the race.
Yes.
That's
I've heard
painful.
Of that.
So, and the flip side of that is what is not better. And so the blackness and the pain of blackness that people experience.
It's become so embedded in our mindset for generations that it manifests in colorism, the texture of your hair, and a Dominican person could be darker than both of us put together. They would never acknowledge their African roots and or their Haitian ancestry. We are the same island, Quisqueya. We're only divided by a river.
Yeah.
And just two sides of an island with two different colonizers.
Yeah.
But we're all the same displaced Africans from West Africa.
Yes.
And we know this because we're conscious, and we had to evolve, and we had to just demystify and dismantle what we've been taught, in our own families, starting from home, and then also combating, the stereotypes in society. And both of us in trusting the spirit of music for us to express that, for us to stand in our power and our MO, like we are involved in that way. And for us to be in the same room as a person who is of Haitian descent, a person of Dominican descent, and to see the commonalities and is very rare. So with your song, and whether it's performed in Haiti or even DR, that's sending a powerful MO. That's sending a powerful message. So I appreciate you bringing that up. Yeah.
It is very, so I realized I'm like that. Something inside of me at 13 said, wait a second, there's no reason to not like my bembe, as it was called. You know, DJ Bembona goes by that because there's that stigma that has been, and she's like, I'm releasing that. I'm decolonizing that, because that's what they would use as a negative term. The bembe, Bemba colora. When you hear Celia Cruz, it's all these like negative connotations about that. But something in me was like, wait a second. You know, spirit.
So I was thinking bembe of like in the Yoruba Lukumi tradition coming together, and that's when we spiritually, with priests and priestesses and abolorishas or practitioners, call on the orishas, and we have bembes particularly for particular orishas. We would have one for a legba, etc. So I thought bembe was like a party. Or a gathering, and whether it comes from a West African term or Spanish, that's my context for bembe. So it's interesting that you mentioned that.
So bemba is like a
bemba. Got it. Okay, so it's different.
But there was always, you know, mention of the lips, the nose not being adequate. But I feel like me accepting my blackness. I also embrace blackness. Like, I'm blackity black, everything.
From Brooklyn too.
Yeah. So it's like, it's not just internal, but that feels very much like, I don't know what we were taught when we were little. But I know that these roots and that we all share a common African mama. Is not anything to be ashamed of.
Right. And then once you find out more about the traditions, the rhythms, your history, is so much power.
So rich and
it's
powerful
so
and beautiful, and we're so lucky. So this privilege
to be here,
to be,
we're not supposed to be here.
I know, against everything.
Wow.
Against all odds. Yeah. So yes.
Ooh.
So the power in our cultural legacy.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel so fortunate. So so these other ideas of the flip side of that. I don't understand them anymore, and I'm more than happy to continue collaborating with like-minded folks.
That's right.
So we can continue this, because this is this authenticity vibrates at a level that people, no matter where they're at in their mindscape, in DR, in America, America's been wild since its inception.
Exactly.
People are looking, they're like, wait a second.
Yeah,
and
to see us in our power, to see us in our art, and shared languages, and you know, sometimes we have to show people as opposed to just telling, or meet people where they're at. Because they'll connect to the visuals that we'll create. They'll connect to the rhythms. They'll connect to you speaking Spanish. I just had an idea of a Creole version. But let's go.
That.
But then also knowing that you're visibly, we could tell that, you know, you're from Dominican Republic, you're Afro-Dominican, collaborating with Haitian artists, and your work is diasporic as well, but there's definitely an intention behind our collaboration. I think that's incredible for people to see, because it will just demystify how we're not connected.
Right.
And there's a large and beautiful community of conscious Dominican and Haitian artists that are purposely coming together to bridge that gap. So I'm glad that we were able to create that. So where could people find you in terms of your social media, or to connect with you, to learn more about what you do?
Sanctuario Musica on Instagram.
Okay.
And there I have like an email list, but that's about it.
Okay.
It's very, very much about performing in a space, and it's not even performance, quite frankly. It's like ritual. It's like there's the stage. People are on stage half the time from the audience. I go out there half the time. So this is really, it's like a shared space. But really, it's about like really getting this in-person experience.
Whew, so amazing. Thank you so much for agreeing to collaborate with Oyasound and to build off of what you and Okai have started. I'm excited for the journey to have more music come out in our collaboration with Sanctuario, especially during the warmer months. I encourage everyone to check them out, have you all come out to this ritualistic performance that typically happens outdoors. I feel like there's power with nature and being in those elements, and the beautiful artists that accompany her as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me so much. So grateful. Love the Oyasound, the background of Oya as transformation.
Thank you.
Let's do this. Yeah.
Awesome. And you can find Oyasound at www.oyasound.com. You can follow me, Sabine Blaizin, on Instagram, and also Oyasound on Instagram. So thank you.